Hello, 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 wonder people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here in the studio. I am delighted to see you. And before we go any further, just want to give you a chance to get yourself settled in. Y'all know what it is. We are in the first week in March of 2023, 63 days into the year 2023. So, y'all know what time it is. It is what is giving me life, usually Friday, but occasionally Saturday. So, get on in here. But before we go further, I want you to know who I am and I want you to know where you've landed. I am Dr. Nicole Bossard, aka the DJ Doc. And here's where you are. You are here in Practicing Positivity, the studio. It's a shared learning lab, as you can see right down here, where we discover, uncover, and recover, put our hands and heart back around. What are the things that spark? What are the things that ignite our passion, our vitality, and our love of life? And remember, here in the studio, what we mean by life is not merely existing. What we mean by life here in Practicing Positivity, the studio, is love, inspiration, faith, fun, and freedom, making all combined for an extraordinary, exceptional experience called life. So, welcome here to the studio. So, today it's what's giving me life as we start this beginning of the third month of 2023. What is giving me life is I am really putting myself this year on a reading campaign. So, my goal is to read a book every 2 weeks. And what is giving me life is I came across as I was reading something on, believe it or not, fusion leadership of all things. I came across a story that I really was encouraged, and it really stirred something up in me that I want to share with you all. So, y'all know how we do. It might be helpful for you to grab a pen, grab a paper, some kind of capture device of choice, and see what is turning over for you. But before I share this story, just take a moment, take a look back at the last 30 days, or even if you haven't done it all year, the last 3 months. Think about something or some things that are sparking off, that are igniting in you a passion, a vitality, a love of life. What things are inspiring you? Where has your faith been stretched and tested, but it passed the test? Where have you experienced a new level of fun and joy and delight? Where have you experienced a new level of love of yourself, love of life, love of your family, love of what you're doing, love of what you're experiencing? What is it that you could celebrate? What is giving you life at this moment? What is pumping that fresh oxygen into your engine as we head into this month of March? What's giving you life? So, as I said, what is giving me life? Reading. And the second thing that is giving me life is connections. I also am holding a goal this year of really connecting to people authentically, powerfully, and not letting those connections just kind of float off into the ethers, but really cultivating connections, friendships that are mutual and that are just wonderful, lovely relationships. So those are some of the things that are giving me life. And I want to just give you a moment. Think about for yourself a second, what's giving me life? What is the thing that is energizing me, that is revitalizing me, that's rejuvenating me? So take a second. If you have a pen and paper, jot it down. If you're brave enough, put it in the comments, or if you're wherever you're watching this, put it in the comments or put it in the chat, or come back and put it in the comments. But you never know, that one thing that you may think is so small, it might be just the thing that turns something on for someone else. So hashtag, y'all know my new hashtag. I just got with the hashtags, but hashtag don't be stingy. All right. So here's what I wanted to share with you all that I got so excited about. So here's a story about courage. So a farmer was just enjoying watching the sunrise over a bluff near his farm, and he noticed a couple of eagles just beautifully soaring so majestically. And every morning in the spring, he would come out and see these eagles soaring above. But there were a couple of days where he noticed they weren't there. So he decided, let me go check this out. What's going on? So he goes up and he finds an empty nest with one single egg. And with a faint hope that maybe with a little TLC, that egg might hatch, he takes it back to his farm, puts it in with the chickens, and hopes for the best. Well, wouldn't you know it? Life marches on. Life wants to break through, and it did. That eaglet was hatched, that egg hatched, and the eaglet is born. So the eaglet, what life does, it begins to mimic what's around. So the eaglet is following the lead of the other chickens. And before you know it, that little baby eagle is out there in the chicken yard, kind of squawking, scratching the ground like the other chickens do. And the eaglet grows up and notices again, there are some eagles that are flying up above, beautifully soaring high above the farm. And that eagle speaks out to the chickens around him and says, gosh, wouldn't it be great to fly like that? I would love to soar with the clouds like those other, I guess, chickens are doing. Well, and sometimes when people, other living beings, they want the best for us, but they can only speak from the level of their own experience. So the chicken said, what? Listen, little eagle, you might look a little different, but you're a chicken. We've taken you in. You're one of us now. You're a chicken, and chickens don't soar in the clouds. Chickens don't fly. So listen, bring your head back down here, bring your feet back on the ground, and pay attention to what's going on down here. You don't belong up there. And then for added effect, one of the roosters came by and said, listen, man, even if you could fly, you get above the fence, you get out here, and you might not even be able to be up there in the clouds. You have to feed yourself. You wouldn't even be able to take care of yourself if you got all the way up there in the clouds. So the eaglet eventually says, you know what? After days of having this same dialogue and harboring this same dream, eventually he says, let me keep this to myself. And the days go on to weeks, and the weeks go on to months. And over the course of the months, the eaglet says, maybe they're right. Maybe I just don't belong up there. While all of this action is happening out here on the chicken yard, the farmer begins to notice that the eagle is not out with the other chickens as frequently and as much as he was before. And he starts to notice there are days that go by where he doesn't see the eagle coming out of the chicken coop. And after several days of not seeing the eaglet, he decides, let me go check it out. Remember, our farmer seems to be, he's a check it out kind of guy. So he goes into the chicken coop to check it out, looks into a dark corner of the chicken coop and notices a pile of dark feathers sitting in the corner, turns on a light, and he goes over and he picks up the pile of dark feathers, and it turns out it's that same eaglet. That same baby eagle, not such a baby anymore, but he's died. And the question that I want to ask you, this is a story about courage. This is a story about having a dream that's inside of you and letting the fire get dimmed down by the thoughts, by the limitations of others. So as you're thinking about this March, as you're thinking about our 63rd day into this 365-day journey, what is it that's inside of you that you've thrown it out in a couple of places and it's been met by the limitations of the people around you? And the limitations of the people around you are starting to weigh you down. So as you're thinking about what's giving you life, I want to have you bring a breath of fresh air back to those things that are giving you life. What are the things? Snatch them back from the limitations of others and hold those things in. And you breathe a little life back into those things that give you energy, that give you vitality, that give you a sense of purpose and focus. By what? You stop listening to the limitations of others as if they have to be yours. Number one. Number two, you begin to nurture what's that thing inside of me. I might have to go out here and go into the back corner of the basement at 2 and 3 in the morning by myself, where I can learn that new dance step. I can learn that new dance move. I can take on that new that yoga posture, whatever your thing is. And I'm making light of it. But for some of you, you're harboring a dream. You're harboring something that keeps calling to you. And every time you speak it out to certain people, they bring the weighted doors down on that dream. So I want you to take seriously the things that give you life. And remember, number one, stop casting your pearls before swine. Number one. Number two, no matter when, no matter where, no matter how, no matter how much, how little, how deep you can go, how you can only do a little bit, do something to do that thing that gives you life. Give yourself, even if it's, let me give you this, journal about it. Write stories to yourself of you engaging in that thing, how you would do it, what it's going to look like, what's the stage going to look like when you jump on it and you sing your song. What's the band going to be wearing? Get into that thing that gives you life. And when you, by default, begin dreaming, listen, what you think about, you bring about. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, that's a beautiful quote from him. What you think about, you bring about. When that thing starts to come in and zero in on your intention, you start pulling it in, you start attracting it in. Take a step. Take a step. Say yes. Do that little thing that has you jump into that pool of life for you. So that's the piece that I want to share with you. And as you begin to think about not just this month ahead of us, but this remaining 302 days, or 63 days in, we've got 302 left. As you begin to think about the thing that gives you life, make some room for yourself. And here are a couple of questions that I'll add on to the previous two things, right? Stop sharing your pearls before swine. Start engaging with that dream again by journaling about it, speaking about it to people that believe in you, that just love you so much. They don't even care what the dream is. They just know it lights you up and they say, yes, go for it. Then thirdly, start saying no to the things that are taking you on a detour, on a joyride that turns into a nightmare ride. Things, distractions that just take you away, farther and farther away from the things that give you life. Start exercising your no. So that's your three things. You are sitting on, we've got 302 days left of this wonderful 2023 year, this adventure. Start saying no to the things that don't give you life. Start engaging with your dream again, even if it's just in the pages of your journal. But let yourself go full in. Let yourself feel the feeling of that dream being a reality. Feel all the feels, the sparkles, the tingles. Let yourself experience it in here. And then when that little bit, you start to catch a little bit of opportunity to do that thing, or when it shows up, say yes. When it shows up, say yes. When it shows up, say yes. When your dream shows up and said, oh, I thought you forgot about me. I thought you left me to the side. I thought you were done with me. You pick that dream up in your hands and you hold it between your two hands and say, I didn't forget about you. We're going forward. I say yes. Say no to the things that are distracting you and say yes to the things that give you life. And with that, wonder people, that's what's given me life. What is giving me life is my reading. My reading is really stirring up and having all kinds of wonderful things and ideas emerge that I can't wait to share with you. Hence, our discussion today, our conversation today. And I look forward to you. Listen, hit the chat, share those things that are giving you life, and share those things. What are the things that you do? What are the things that you're going to do to start saying yes to your dream and no to the distractions, no to the haters, no to the people who are stuck so deep in their own limitations they want to draw you into their limitations too? What are the things that you're going to do to say yes to your dream this month? I look forward to seeing you at the end of this month where we're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate you and celebrate the life that you have created in this month of March. Until then, have a wonderful rest of this evening. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I will see you soon. My practicing positivity phenoms. Enjoy and keep practicing. Remember, positivity is not an end unto itself. It's a throughway, it's a through point, it's a channel for us to get access to more of our full potential. So let's hit the studio. All right. Talk to you soon. Be well, my friends.